Professor Charlie Beckett, welcome to GMF Talk. What are your predictions for how AI will reshape the journalism landscape?
I mean, if I'm going to be honest, I don't know because things are moving so fast that it's difficult to predict with any certainty exactly how things are going to play out. But it's very clear. I talk to newsrooms around the world, and they are all experimenting with generative AI. They all are using it or trying to use it and thinking about how they can use it. And they tell me that it is going to transform the way that journalists work. And one of the biggest things they are thinking about is the risks there as well as the opportunities. So everyone's talking about it, and we're going to find out over the next 12 months exactly how it's going to impact.
Talk us through then some of those potential risks of ramping up the use of generative AI.
So there's huge risk around inaccuracy, but also around bias and discrimination. These tools are trained upon the internet, and the internet is full of bias and discrimination and bad things. And so sometimes that can surface when you use these. So the responsible newsrooms that I talk to are experimenting with this, but they're very aware that it might actually cross some of the boundaries they have. It might actually compromise their standards, their editorial quality.
And what about the opportunities then?
Well, the opportunities are huge. You have to bear in mind that, as any journalist knows, that it's a tough life out there for journalists. They don't have enough time, they don't have enough resources, and they're constantly battling, for example, against disinformation and fake news. So they need all the help they can get. And the responsible newsrooms that I talk to, they see generative AI, they see programs like ChatGPT and Midjourney as support for the journalists rather than replacing them. They can see huge efficiency gains, and they can see new tools that you could use, like transcription and translation, for example. And they can see a real benefit to the public, to the users as well, that you could have more personalized content, for example. You could get the good journalism in the format that you want and make it more relevant to you, for example, where you live. And generative AI can help news organizations to do that.
So plenty of opportunities there. How can newsrooms best make use of them whilst also guarding against the risks?
Well, what I see from responsible newsrooms is that they are starting to experiment with these new tools, but they're doing it in a careful way. They're making sure that certain people in their newsrooms are responsible for this, getting across the technology, understanding it. And they're doing things like producing guidelines. I think guidelines are really helpful for journalists, for the staff. What can you do and what can't you do? What are the opportunities? What are the risks? But most importantly, how does it relate to the standards that you've already got, the editorial policies that you've already got, because you don't want to compromise those. So it's really helpful for the journalist to have some sort of guidelines there. It's also helpful actually for your users, for the public, to know that your newsroom is thinking about this, that you're not adopting this technology in a random way,